Welcome to the next edition, known as Module 3 of ELRC 7500. This is Melissa Crownover, and in this presentation, we'll be talking about digital transformation, more specifically, some trends and best practices for education technology. So as we talk about digital transformation here, we're going to take a look at the current movement, emerging themes, and then implications pertaining to the workplace. So when we take a look at what this journey entails, it resembles circular movement. The first phase of learn has several dimensions. This needs to be thorough with regard to culture, workforce, technology, and institutional readiness. It is comprehensive, and a broad view of the landscape has to be considered. The next phase is plan. It takes into account all of what has been learned with regard to its various dimensions. This is somewhat of an introduction or overview of what is being taken into account and what the targets are based on the factors being considered. What is a reasonable approach? What is the intention? And how is it being received and formulated? As we work our way around in the circle, we have the third phase, which involves measuring what is being done, understanding where you are in the process so you can determine what should come next, and also keeping your eyes wide open to what else is out there and maybe working well for others. So DX is an abbreviated term for digital transformation. This graphic is similar to the colorful bent arrow graphic that EDUCAUSE provided, where you see progress in terms of complexity, but we're building up this bar chart as we move through each phase of digital transformation. So here on the left, the initial phase is digitization. This is basically just a conversion process where we say a physical document changes its form into a digital document. Then as we work our way up, digitalization is more involved. The integration consists of processes, so these are not single-threaded, they're multiple components that connect to make something happen. Then finally, the crest of the climb is a multifaceted transformation where the new ways create a whole new perspective of how everything is being done, and the where is actually everywhere and involves everyone. It is a universal movement, and resources are fully engaged. This is how the other two build and progress as the pieces are intertwined and are parts of the whole. Nobody jumps to changing everything. The movement is starting small and then gradually gains momentum through pieces and parts that form components of a whole digital transformation movement. So maybe a helpful analogy could be when you start with the recipe and you need butter to be soft, so basically at room temperature. If you pull it out of the fridge, you can't do much with it as is, so you either need to let it sit out and soften or heat it up on the stove or maybe in the microwave. We'll equate this to digitization. Its form has changed from its original state. Now, if we take this butter, combine it with eggs and sugar and other stuff, and then we mix it up real good, this is processing a bunch of ingredients. Everything is blended together in a mixer. The process is mixing, and this transforms the ingredients into cake batter. So finally, our final transformation involves an oven, a pan, the right temperature, the right length of time. When we have and put all of these things together, we end up with a totally different result than that wet batter mix. We end up with a cake that is hopefully fluffy, moist, and tasty, but it's a product of everything that went into it, from the softened butter to the mixed ingredients to the oven, pan, temperature, time, and transformation from a liquid to hopefully a solidified result that doesn't resemble any of the previous phases, even though its composition really is the result from all of those phases. So in terms of what is coming out of the transformation movement, there are a lot of different things we're seeing. Data and analytics. There is an abundant amount of data that can be stored, processed, used, and it has created its own field for how data can be used. When we talk about sourcing, oftentimes it's modernizing the technology infrastructure to incorporate standard components that can reduce redundancy, eliminate legacy systems that require a specific and sometimes archaic skill set that is no longer supported. Open source and common syntax provide better interoperability and support with modern languages and reusable structures. Scaling takes this further and allows easier growth and not having to build the wheel again or figure out how to fix a flat tire that's no longer even being used effectively. The efficiency and agile methodology focuses on the value and less about what has to be done to get there. Although this allows for creativity and variation, it's within a set of standards that can be established as parameters to work within, which help components fit together into processes often called flows, and which integration can be understood, traced, and grow accordingly to what is needed. Finally, emerging technologies include really leveraging advancements in technology to really put it to work to provide intelligent assistance and guided efforts to use repeated processing to build better capabilities and ways to leverage computational refinement. So if we take a look at these themes at my workplace, we see many data analytic, business intelligence, data governance, and data quality roles, teams, tools, and centers of excellence to allow growth within consistent frameworks across the organization. I work in this sector and am standing up data governance for our retail technology area. I am lucky to work in an epicenter where we are merging many old applications into a sophisticated architecture where components are leveraged to hook many pieces and parts together, following a sound structure that is architected by field experts. With regard to scaling, we're using a cloud application that has state-of-the-art design components. Agile development requires a lot of interoperability, communication, collaborative effort, and visual presentations to show how dynamic capabilities are and to educate developers on considering others' approach and leveraging their expertise for the greater good. Along that same vein, our group hosts many fun events that showcase work, invite technology, and evaluate new ideas and approaches that anybody can bring to the table within an inviting environment that looks for grassroots initiatives to demonstrate value and earn recognition, funding, and advancement professionally as well as in terms of technology. I was excited to find this model when I was snooping around for our educational technology plan. It closely resembles the circular journey we just took a look at. However, I like this Venn diagram as the overlap does make sense. Also, these are 3 different verbs, but they are closely related. From a career perspective, they have a series of questions to identify where you are, and from there, it suggests a path that it recommends you take. However, there's no stopping you from choosing a different path or pursuing more than one either. Explore is the easiest to understand. If you are new to the company or an area, your exploration is learning the lay of the land and ramping up. Also, if you decide you want to change again, you want to learn the lay of the land with regard to where you might want to move to within the company. So expanding a bit on the ready to move, exploring new opportunities moves into the grow sector. To me, this is in that transformation mode where innovation may bring new approaches, perspectives, technology, and is where something may grow out of your eyes being wide open. When we consider transforming your current role, that overlaps or is similar to grow, but it could have more distinctive boundaries when looking at a particular role or job responsibilities. So it's not quite as loose as where explore or grow might take you. Explore is also somewhat like that first building block. Know could be the second at a higher level, and then grow being at the top with the most potential to go further. So you're probably thinking there's a lot going on here, and there is, but just like the conglomeration of colors, digital transformation encompasses the journey, movements, and pathways within my workplace. So that is how I wanted to bring it all together here. First, the journey was circular as well as likely cyclical, where we have seen the learn, plan, and do central in this view. The aspect of digital transformation movement kind of radiates from that. So from the top, we start with digitization, that simple conversion as our first building block. Next, digitalization evolves and encompasses more with more moving parts. Then digital transformation is really true, measurable, visible change and taking off with a new trajectory. As we circle back to pathways within my work, they are in blue: explore, know, and grow. To me, they provide tangible direction, which fits well with how things progress in terms of the journey and movement of digital transformation that we have covered here. So here you'll find the citations from EDUCAUSE that provided lots of information I used in talking through aspects of digital transformation. Thank you for hanging in there with me through this presentation and listening to my long talk. My hope is that a corporate IT perspective exemplifies some interesting insights when it comes to some best practices and trends with digital transformation. Thank you.